You can practically smell the sea and feel the salt on your skin when you enter one of these homes.
Mediterranean design style is really compelling because it's a storytelling type of design aesthetic. It's the artisans who take the time to actually weld out things and to take tiles and to actually hand paint them. It's the love that is poured into each one of those pieces.
It just makes me want to really relax and have a glass of wine and be in bed at 9:30.
Mediterranean style is just breezy and captivating.
There's an element of elegance, but at the same time, it's very relaxed and casual.
You have arched windows, wonderful terracotta rooftops, breezy spaces that allow for many, many evenings of al fresco dining. It really is a style that is about craftsmanship.
You can see it in the painted tiles, in the way the terracotta is formed, in the brushing of plaster or paint.
Really pretty linen fabrics that are just gonna wear beautifully, but still have that really luxurious feel without getting dingy.
You've got large hewn beams, whether that's in the architecture or the furniture even.
And then you just have this continuous warm sense flanked by beautiful wrought iron, metalwork.
Mediterranean style is a really good blend of effortless luxury that's super organic, that's really like one with its surroundings, and takes really organic materials and elevates them.
So many people think of the Mediterranean as really the seat of sort of Western civilization and culture. This area on the Mediterranean Sea is 22 countries with diverse people, religions, languages. Talk about a melting pot, like this one is the original. So what you're getting is this confluence of influences from Southern Europe, from the Middle East, and of course this coastal vibe, right? These are all one-off homes. Nothing was mass manufactured or produced. So when the Industrial Revolution swept through the area, they still really stuck to their craft.
Especially with the craftsmen who have centuries of carving stone and who have all of the various decorative elements of carving stone and columns and archways. For example, there's a lot of terracotta tiles, as you have the earthy types of objects that came right out of the ground because, of course, terracotta is clay. And there's a little interesting story about the roof tiles, why they are rounded, that the artisans would place the clay over their thighs, and that's how it become rounded.
But you've got the baked terracotta tiles that are gonna come from Italy. We've also got, the hand-painted tiles that are coming from Morocco. I mean, honestly, this Mediterranean design is like a big bazaar.
There were a couple of different reasons why the style came along. As the end of the 19th century came along, Americans were traveling extensively as railroads would allow them to travel more, as they could travel on ships. They came to Greece and Italy and Spain. To a great extent, many of the styles were seen by the young men who had fought in the wars, and they came back. Some of them became architects, such as Addison Meisner in Florida, who had traveled extensively and understood the history, understood the styles, and then brought those to the United States.
So we see that happening in southern Florida, we see it in Southern California, places where the wealthy go to play or live and play. And these gorgeous homes are, of course, being frequented by the Hollywood glitterati. And America is seeing this in Life magazine, right? It's coming full-scale pictures of this incredible way of kind of vacation living happening in Southern California, and the backdrop is a Mediterranean home.
So of course, once that happens, it starts to trickle from LA to Middle America. And so Mediterranean design started to really take off. Current day, we're taking inspiration, but making it ours, making it more modern, making it clean. So it's different ways that we're using things from the past, but making it our own.
One great example of the Mediterranean style is a home in Malibu. It incorporates all of the wonderful elements of the history of this style and then brings a contemporary view to it. It has lovely stone on the exterior.
Moving into this home, you're going to find very evident elements of Mediterranean architecture. Handcrafted tiles, exposed beams, tile work around the fireplaces, walls that have a very wonderful hand to them, as though an artisan has just painted them. In the main living room, you're going to find arched niches. You're going to see a very simple palette throughout the room that's very light, neutral color, as not to take away from the architecture.
So moving into the kitchen, you're gonna see a really architecturally beautiful pitch ceiling that is emphasized with some rough sawn wood beams to give that organic, luxurious feel to the space. It's paired with some really beautiful and colorful handmade tiles, some open shelving, and it's just a really nice open floor plan.
In the bedroom, you're going to see a continuation of the finishes and the applications that are found throughout the lower level of the home. In the bathroom, you find this wonderful unfinished stone vanity, which very much is a reference to the ode beginnings of Spanish Mediterranean architecture.
Another property which has beautiful Mediterranean elements is in Rustic, California.
You immediately have a sense of the craftsmanship of this home before you even enter it. The exterior has these wonderful large pavers, which is extremely rustic, and you have these wonderful wood shutters that looked as though that they've just been carved.
And then for the living space, he has incorporated some lovely carved doors. The big fireplace is just perfect for a Mediterranean-style home like this. He also has incorporated wrought iron, which will reflect the various time frames and cultures that had come from the Mediterranean areas.
The dining room area, you see a very welcoming space, a very calming space where people are actually meant to gather, which is very true to Spanish Mediterranean homes, that the kitchen was always a place to gather, and it's sort of a lauded space in the home. One of the nice things about the kitchen is that you see a lot of carved wooden elements. And one of the elements in the kitchen that I really like is this old sort of wooden chest, which appears to have chicken wire in it. And that truly is an ode to Spanish Mediterranean homes and homes of farmers and laborers where they would display their larder items. In the bedroom, this is the first real contrast that you see. You have this very dark wooden headboard and footboard, and you're going to see a very relaxed environment with very few decorative items.
The fireplace in the middle has a lot of ornate detailing that's going to be really indicative of this style.
This Mediterranean property is really amazing. It's on the shores of Lake Minnetonka, which is in the Midwest, and a great example of how Mediterranean design can really work wherever you are. When you enter the Great Hall, the first thing you see is sort of this promenade of doors, which is, to me, talks about a fresh breeze on a warm day. There's these almost cathedral-esque peaked arches.
These types of arches reflect some of the history of the churches.
There's all this great terracotta tile, which even in, I think, winter in Minnesota might feel really cozy underfoot as you're sort of padding around through this space. Just off the entry are these fantastic terracotta and tile stairs that lead you up to the second level. And I think it's a really lovely example of this colorful, intricate, glazed tile work. This palatial kitchen, I think the first thing you do when you enter that space is probably look up at these enormous beams. They're really highlighted by the lack of color. You've got all this white plasterwork, and then you've got these wood beams that really call your attention. This cabinet in the kitchen really has 1,000 stories to tell. There's all these people carved in there. They almost look like windows to another world. In the formal dining, I'm really seeing an emphasis on the Mediterranean style evoked through more of the furnishing.
You see a lot of carved wooden elements. The color palette is very much about neutral textures.
But again, it's telling stories, all set against this really minimalistic backdrop of the Mediterranean architecture.
Probably the easiest way to get a touch of Mediterranean influence in your home is with tile. Find something that's hand-painted or handmade, a little bit irregular, and find a sweet spot for it at home, and you'll get that feeling.
To bring the Mediterranean style into your own home, incorporate stone and the colors of the earth, incorporating beiges, golden tones.
Try to stay away from more structured pieces of furniture that just seem clean, modern, and finished, and go with something that has more of a rustic flair. Things that have, you know, a little aged patina.
What I find particularly pleasing about this style is its connection to its roots.
People want that closeness to the earth. They want that kind of hearkening to that Mediterranean lifestyle of sand and sea.
This is such a compelling style because it's comfortable. It's lived in, it's not pretentious, it's really luxurious, and it stands the test of time.